When Fenway Sports Group bought Liverpool on October 15th, 2010, exactly 9 years after this video was published, they inherited a club which, financially, was on life support. It was technically insolvent and paying interest costs on loans of £340,000 a week, so there was work to do. The previous season, Liverpool had finished 7th in the Premier League, the lowest finish for more than a decade, and how can you forget, new manager Roy Hodgson was failing miserably after taking over from Rafa Benitez in July 2010. Hodgson's ill-fated appointment proved to be the last major decision made by Tom Hicks and George Gillett, who control Liverpool via their Cayman Islands-based Cobb Football Company. Hicks and Gillett were able to buy Liverpool through a leveraged buyout deal. That's when a prospective owner borrows large sums of money, which is then secured on the assets of the company purchased. The aim is to make profits from the acquired company, which are used to pay down the loan and then sell the company at a profit. Hicks and Gillett had seen how Malcolm Glazer had taken a similar approach in buying Manchester United in 2005 by borrowing more than £700 million. However, things went spectacularly wrong financially under the American duo. In the first 7 months of trading, Cobb Football had net losses of £33 million, followed by £42 million, £53 million and £43 million in the following 3 years. The club owed sizable amounts to the Royal Bank of Scotland, which itself was in trouble following the banking crisis and was unwilling to extend loans. So when FSG took over Liverpool, the first step was to earn the confidence of the club's bankers, and this was achieved through taking over the debts run up by Cobb Holdings and an injection of more than £30 million from a new club holding company, UKSV Holdings Company Limited. The new owners allowed the club to invest once again in the transfer market. Hicks and Gillett had arrived with a fanfare in signing Fernando Torres in 2007, but the net spend on players had turned negative by the time they left. FSG's initial years were hit and miss, perhaps none more illustrated by the signing of Luis Suarez and Andy Carroll on deadline day in January 2011, as Fernando Torres departed for Chelsea. But after FSG arrived at Liverpool, all 3 drivers of revenue have at least doubled. The expansion of the stadium has helped boost matchday income, commercial income has benefited from on-the-field success and a savvier approach to negotiating deals, while broadcast income has benefited from progress in the Champions League and new contracts signed by the Premier League. The importance of Champions League income will become even clearer when the 2018-19 accounts are published. UEFA have boosted distribution substantially, meaning the club earned about £100 million in prize money plus additional matchday and commercial income from the memorable European adventure that ended with the Reds being crowned champions of Europe for the 6th time. Winning the Champions League will have also increased Liverpool's UEFA ranking, and this will automatically guarantee the club extra money this season. While Liverpool's income has grown significantly under FSG, they are in a competitive division and they still trail the 2 Manchester clubs, but they should start to pull away from Chelsea. The increase in revenue has allowed the club to invest more in players in the form of both wages and transfers. Compared to Manchester United, say, the Reds have had a lower wage bill during FSG's reign, but the increased income has allowed them to keep within a surmountable gap, one which can be bridged with good recruitment and management. One danger of paying higher wages is that they cause concerns over the long-term financial well-being of a club, but while Liverpool have substantially increased the wage bill, it has not endangered their future, as the club has spent less than £70 in wages for every £100 of income for the last 6 years, placing the club below UEFA's red line of spending. Compared to other clubs, Liverpool are in a relatively strong position in terms of wage control, and the success in winning the Champions League this year will keep the figure well below the red line. FSG have backed managers in the transfer market too. Under the new owners, the total net spend sits at a relatively modest £340 million, of which nearly half has taken place since the 2018 Champions League final defeat to Real Madrid. Part of the reason for the relatively low net spend compared to, say, Manchester United again, is that Liverpool have had far more success in selling players. The likes of Suarez, Raheem Sterling and Philippe Coutinho leaving Anfield has helped generate more than £450 million from player sales. It is a reversal of fortunes compared to their rivals up the M62. FSG have prioritised sporting performance rather than financial, which is highlighted by their level of borrowing costs and dividends compared to United. The Red Devils presently owe $650 million, £590 million at current exchange rates, in 2 loans that are not due to be repaid until 2025 and 2027. Liverpool too have loans outstanding to FSG, but the sum involved is lower, £221 million at the last count, part of which is interest-free and is being gradually repaid. The money borrowed has been used to improve the infrastructure at Anfield, which, as already seen, is helping generate higher matchday revenues. Liverpool have benefited substantially from FSG's financial involvement. The owners have made smart decisions, both in terms terms of recruitment and key positions at the club, and this has reaped rewards. Though some supporters will say that money has eroded the romance of football, today, rightly or wrongly, it plays a critical role in achieving success on the pitch too. Liverpool will need to keep making smart decisions as the level of competition at the summit of both English and European football intensifies. The next 12 months will involve potentially big decisions in terms of agreeing the new kit manufacturing deal and whether or not to expand Anfield further. The club cannot afford to rest on the successes so far, but fans do not have to worry about whether or not they will have a club to support in a few months' time, as was the case under Hicks and Gillett just 9 years ago.